to talk. I am in my cabin on the Celebrity Beyond, sailing into the Dominican Republic as we speak. Okay, so um, continuing where I was last time, there's a few things I got to cover here this morning. One of them is the TSA. Okay, TSA. This one here is just so insane, and the media coverage. The media really burned me up a lot because it not just the mainstream media, some of the conservative media. I just don't think that they're framing the story properly. But I want to get back to that in a minute. There's something else I want to ask you all about before I forget, because I just saw this right before I started the live stream. Um, and I want to get your opinion on this, okay? And I mean, I was a little surprised, well, a lot surprised actually. Sean Ryan interviewed that trader Joe Kent. And um, so there's a couple of issues about this. Sean Ryan said that he's not voting Republican in the midterms because of the uh, operation with Iran. And he's sitting there actually agreeing with Joe Kent. And I haven't followed Sean Ryan throughout his entire career here, but I know about him. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Now, first of all, to sit in studio with Joe Kent, who betrayed President Trump, and to treat him as if he is a respectable person and have a polite conversation with him, um, that's to me over the line. The stakes are too high. And for Sean Ryan to say he's not voting Republican in the midterms because of Iran, I mean, what does that say about him? And what are your thoughts on Sean Ryan? You know, um, on this cruise, it really had an amazing thing happen on this cruise. Um, I'm wearing all my MAGA gear, our shirts, right? So it's funny. So I have not had one negative comment all week from a single person wearing my MAGA gear. Also, I wore my MAGA gear in the British Virgin Islands. I wore my MAGA gear in San Juan, Puerto Rico yesterday. I walked uh, the entire city of Old San Juan. I was out doing things with my MAGA I was wearing. This is the one I wore yesterday in San Juan. I wore this in the British Virgin Islands. I'm getting nothing but people, and here on board the ship as well, I'm getting nothing but compliments about President Trump. Nothing but compliments. People love President Trump from all kinds of backgrounds. I haven't had one negative word, which is the first time uh, that I've gone this long without negative comments about these. But no, not one this week. Not a single one. So what does that tell you? That tells you, it's a poll. It's really almost like a scientific poll. I went to San Juan, I walked the entire old San Juan, uh, and the streets were pretty busy with people, right? I saw some Bad Bunny stuff up. Not a single negative word. The only thing people have been saying to me are positives, and that's a poll, and it tells me, and I think it's where the pulse of the people are, and the uh, pulse of the people. Um, that tells us what's going to happen in the midterms. And what happens with these Sean Ryan types, these so-called conservative influencers, you know, whatever their motivation is to go against, if in Tucker Carlson's case, there's a lot of talk about is he getting paid by someone? I don't know what it is, but these influencers, I would tell you two things. One, they're not influencing many people because too many people are on Trump's side, and as they're trying to the never Trumpers. See, this is something else because these never Trumpers and Democrats and fake news media, all these evil people against President Trump. Remember what President Trump said was one of the major factors in getting him elected in the last election, right? Reelected. Remember, it was the conservative influencers. He did all of these podcast interviews that are not normal places for politics, right? Some Twitch streams and stuff like this. And hey there, Athens, welcome, welcome, welcome. And President Trump said that these influencers got him elected. So what's happening is the never Trumpers are trying to get influencers to work against him, and they're having some success with it to try to win the midterm elections, and they'll do it for the presidential. So whether it's Sean Ryan, who I'm very disappointed with Sean Ryan, very disappointed, and I would think you guys are too. Tucker Carlson and all of these people, very disappointing. But I don't know. They don't represent MAGA people. They represent Trump haters. Is who they represent. You know, they represent Trump haters. And